Don't you just hate PCs? Don't you just hate the way you do a whole video, you try to save it, and it just goes, program not responding, and it just shuts down, and it doesn't back it up, and you turn it back on, and everything you just said, every bit of the video that you edited, because I did it so quickly, is gone. Oh my lord, I want to kick the absolute living fuck out of this computer. But I guess that's my problem and not your problem. Anyway, how you been? I know I haven't made any content in a hot minute. It's at least been a month, maybe two. I'm not 100% sure, but it's been a while, right? It's been some time. But it's not from a lack of not playing video games. It's from a lack of not playing video games that belong on this channel. I don't really want to turn this channel into anything but horror games, to be honest. I don't. And I'm trying to avoid pushing other games on it. So we had to wait for a new release. And what we waited for was the TCM multiplayer game. And it is TCM Day. It's the 50th anniversary of the absolute classic that is Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1974, which is 100% superior to the remake that came out in 2003. I'll argue for days on that. I know some people like that movie, but I don't want to get this on a tangent about movies. Unless you just want to hear me talk about movies, then just say I don't mind putting horror movies on this channel. But I feel like we're all horror fans here, right? And that's what we want to talk about. That's what this channel's about. So we'll just keep it that way. But you've come here for the TCM review. So let's get into it. What is TCM? It's an asymmetrical multiplayer game where 4 people be victims, survivors, 3 people be the family, the killers. My issue with asymmetrical horror games is there's never been a balance between them, right? You either like playing as the killer or you like playing as the survivor, or vice versa. It never ever feels like both playstyles are fun. So, just to give you a history lesson, Friday the 13th came out. I loved being Jason. If I had to be the counselor, couldn't stand it. What a boring game. I used to team kill in that game. I was that guy. That's right. I used to play that when team killing was allowed. Anyway, take that out of the picture. Dead by Daylight. I like being survivor. I don't like being killer. And the main reason I don't like being killer in Dead by Daylight is because the killer is just pathetic. They can't do anything. I'm not asking you to let me just dominate the entire team, but the gameplay just isn't being a killer. It's trash. Evil Dead comes out, being the survivor. I love it. Being the killer, you're a floating fucking camera. It's lame. It's not fun to play. I don't understand how anyone enjoys that. I'm glad people do. Otherwise, I can't play my side of the, my style that I want to play. Because that's how these servers work. So, getting into TCM, the footage you're watching is victims, because I can't bring up anything else. Because this is the footage that I got, because it's a struggle being killer. I do prefer being killer, right? Just to put that out there. I definitely want to be killer. As someone who is a big Manhunt fan, and believes that we need more slasher content in the video game industry, this fills a void. Sure, it's not single player, it's multiplayer, but I love being the killer. I feel like I'm enacting the movies. I'm the slasher, I'm the killer. You know what I mean? The sadistic side of things. Take that as you will. Right? So, honestly, it's a ton of fun, but when I was capturing footage for this, I was struggling to get into the family side of things, so I had to capture footage for the survivor. And somebody who played the tech test, who didn't enjoy being the survivor because it was like, it's lame, who cares, this kind of forced me to play it. Lord behold, the victim's even fun to play. I have never ever felt tension in any of these asymmetrical horror games as a survivor. It's never happened until this game. Now, I'm not going to sit here and go, I'm a grown man, I'm in my 30s, and I'm terrified of a video game. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I could feel it. If I was younger, maybe I would have been shitting my pants. It's really good. The atmosphere's there, the tension's there. The look of the game is the movie. It is. I like the animations for the most part. I've run into no glitching, like none. There's loads of different exits. You've got to search for things, avoid making noise. Each victim is unique. It's not like Dead by Daylight where you pick this character, you pick this character, you pick this character. Just talking about survivors here. And none of them are unique, and they're all the same fucking character, but you just change the perks around, and it's really lame. You know what I mean? No, 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 no. With this, they've got their own attributes that you can manipulate. This is awesome. So the character I was being on most of this footage is Leland, this guy. Hang on. And he sucks at being stealth. He is so loud. However, I can fix that because I just level them up, I get some attribute points, and I can push them into stealth. Now, you can pick other characters that are automatically already good in that department, but just you manipulate the skill tree to make him better at the things you want to do. But that won't change the fact that you'll never match someone who can do like the best of the best. You're not going to max out all your stats. It's just not going to happen. So people are going to be better in different departments, but you can kind of balance them out. Also, he has his own unique ability. He does that you can't take off him and put on someone else. It's just not how it works. So each survivor is unique. You can't pick the same survivor, causing a little bit issues, but I mean it makes sense with everything's unique. So just take some getting used to. So what I'm just telling you is you want to main multiple characters. Don't force yourself to just be one character all the time, because it's going to work out bad for you. You're going to be put into a game eventually where someone's being your character and you can't use them. Same thing with Killer. For the most part, I've been... because I wanted to try out the 2 killers that have been added to this game, which we'll get onto content in a minute. But I wanted to try out the new killers because they weren't in the film. That's Johnny, and I believe it's Sissy, if I'm not mistaken. Those are the 2 characters for the killer side that are new, the one in the movie. So I was interested in using them, and Johnny is awesome. You track people, you're brutal, you're fast. It's awesome. Sure, you can get... like, it's not like you're overpowered as a killer. It's like, if I'm chasing someone as Johnny, for example, if I'm slicing you up and you run and you go through a crack in the wall, which you can see here, that gap that he just went, for whatever reason, I know it's silly, Johnny can't go through that, so you're like, oh, for fuck. So I've got to run all the way around to get to you, and you could have gone anywhere at that point. You're gone. You're long gone. So, you know, you've got to balance that stuff out. So you get my point. You've just got to make sure that you're doing the right things at the right point. And it's really not that imbalanced for a game that's 3 killers versus 4 survivors. It isn't. It's... the problem that I'm going to have with it is content longevity, right? Because we've been here before, right? Evil Dead came out. I had a ton of fun at first with that. I still kind of like the survivor mode on that. It is really good. But Killer, I just grew to hate it. Even though it was kind of cool at first, the more I used it, I was like, it's just not fun to play. With this, I hope that doesn't happen. I can't see it happening. Because there's enough variety here where it's like, we're a survivor, you've got so many different options to escape. As a killer, you've got to make sure those options don't become an option. And then it's the cat and mouse, like, you've got to hide and you've got to find them, you know? So it's the usual stuff. So I can't see how it wouldn't, like, keep me entertained in that regard. The problem being is there's 3 maps, day and night cycle, the whatever amount of characters, so you've got like 5 killers. Is it 5 killers and 5 survivors? I'm pretty sure it actually is. Yeah, but obviously you're going to either pick 3 of the killers, and someone has to be Leatherface. I didn't mention that, but someone has to be Leatherface, which kind of locks it down to 2 survivors, 2 killers are pickable. Someone has to be Leatherface or it doesn't work. It must be a balancing issue. Like, Leatherface can do certain things in the map, but if he couldn't do those things, survivors could really just take the piss. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things, I'm guessing. But anyway, they only have the license for the first film. So if they want to add more content, they either have to be unique, like they've done with Johnny and Sissy, or maybe adding characters from the film and we go into the timeline of the movie, because we're not there technically. This is based before the events of the film. But then after that, you're gonna need the license of the sequels, and I don't like all the sequels when it comes to TCM, just so we're clear. But as a video game, as content, of course I'm going to enjoy the fact that I could be TCM 2, 3, the fucking Next Generation or whatever the fuck it was called, that awful one with Matthew McConaughey, who's gone absolute nuts. I highly doubt we'll ever get Matthew McConaughey to agree to be in this game. Although apparently he really doesn't hate the fact that he was in that movie, and he was the only good part of that movie, so that kind of makes sense. But regardless, content could become an issue when buzz dies down. I really hope in 2 months' time I'm not going, damn, TCM could have been better. Because that's the problem with multiplayer. It's not a single player experience where I'll play it, and then next year sometime I'll go, you know what, I feel like another bash at that game, I'm going to play it again. No, it's not like that. Multiplayer, you just keep playing it, you do. And if it doesn't have the content, guess what happens? This is what happens, because this happened with Evil Dead. I play Dead by Daylight, Evil Dead comes out, I get Evil Dead, I play Evil Dead for 2 months. Oh well, the content's not there, I'm getting kind of bored. Back to Dead by Daylight, which is still churning out content all the time. Aliens around the corner for Dead by Daylight. Same problem here, I've dropped Dead by Daylight right now, playing TCM. What happens in 2 months' time when I'm like, it's getting a bit boring, a bit stale, I guess I'll go play the game that's constantly got content coming out. It could be an issue. We're not going to know until time passes. But as it stands right now, the game's a blast. I'm having a ton of fun. It's on Game Pass, so you've got no excuse not to try it. Well, I mean, if you're on Xbox, you've got no excuse. It's on every platform on the face of the earth, apart from Switch. It's not on Switch, right? I'm pretty sure it's not on Switch. Crossplay between PC, Xbox Series X and S, and PS5, I believe. I don't believe PS4 and Xbox One has crossplay. I'm pretty sure it doesn't anyway. Don't quote me on that, I could be wrong, but I'm positive it doesn't. Someone's going to be like, well, actually, Glenn, PS4 is crossplay with. You know what I mean? But all I'm saying is, the game right now is a ton of fun, and I'm having a blast with it. It's really good. And it's not full price, just so we're clear. It's not 70. I'm not really sure how much it is, because I'm using Game Pass. But I'm going to go and buy those DLCs, the executions. Because it needs some kind of money. I might buy it on PS5, you know. Because I'm not going to buy it on Xbox, because I can just play it through Game Pass. But I might buy it on PS5. Maybe I will. But that's all I got, people. Are you going to get TCM? Do you not give a shit about these multiplayer horror games? You're like, come on, man. Let's get some single player on the go. I like both, to be honest. I just feel like this is filling a void that Manhunt's left behind. Hopefully more games come out and it's maybe single player, like You Are the Killer, you know what I mean? But anyway, that's all I got. Hopefully I'll keep the content up, you know, maybe find some glitches or some shit. Who knows? I've got plenty of hours in it. I've got plenty more to go. I'm going to jump back into it. I'll catch you later.